Welcome back.
We're back again with Au Pair and Host Mom Unfiltered.
I feel like it's so crazy that we're on episode 6 right now.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
Or 7? 6.
6.
6. That's still crazy.
It is crazy. It's like 1.5 months.
We've been doing this for a while.
We have. But I like it so far.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has been. Okay.
So we have a lot to cover today. We didn't finish our first episode. Or the last episode. We didn't finish the content we wanted to talk about. So we're going to talk about some of that. But we're also going to do like a little life update post. Or not post. I'm tired, yo. This is my second podcast I've recorded today.
Hard life.
The podcasting life.
Okay, should we talk about the update first?
Okay. Yeah, update first.
Okay. Our triathlon, how's it going, Lizzie?
Well, my knee doesn't hurt anymore, so that's a big step in the right direction.
Did you tell them that it was hurting?
I don't know.
Well, it was.
It was. It's better now.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's good news, but we haven't been running because of that. But my thoughts are that we'll run 1 day a week to start. Mm-hmm. Give me rest, but we're going to keep biking and swimming. So probably a lot of biking and 1 day of swimming.
I hate that.
Yeah, but we have to do biking. We're going to suck at it otherwise.
Okay, here's the thing. I like running more than Lizzie do.
Yes.
She likes other things more than I do. Like swimming. I actually had a friend here that she can swim. Mm-hmm. We went to the swimming pool thing and she was trying to teach me how to crawl. And yeah, well, the conclusion is that I can't.
Okay, so it's so funny. I was talking to a guy here at the office.
Yeah.
He knows I'm training for a triathlon and he's a personal trainer. Oh. And so he was saying how he's like doing a Spartan run or something. And I was like, he was like, I can't swim. He was like, I literally sink. I was like, that's Natta.
Yeah, but I don't sink, but I sink a little. Like half of my body.
Well, he like can't, you can float on your back though, at least. Yeah, he can't do that at all.
Oh.
Like his body just sinks somehow.
Okay, I don't sink, but like when you see me swimming, my head will be up and my arms and then the rest of my body will be like in an angle down.
A little bit.
But we're working on it. We're still working out. We're just not running right now.
Yeah.
But we're still holding our schedule pretty good.
Yeah. No, we've held the schedule, but we've been sick and just a lot going on.
Yeah.
But
I feel like
we're getting back to it, I feel like.
Yep. Otherwise, good.
Yeah. So that's triathlon update. We're still in the process of looking for a new au pair. It's going well, I feel like this time. I've at least been making contact with more people.
You doubled it by like 100%
100%.
since last time.
Yeah.
That's
Nobody
great.
was accepting me 3 weeks ago.
No.
But no, it's been good. I've been talking. There's one girl I've been talking to. It's been really, really good. So we'll see how all this ends up.
Yeah.
One girl denied us, but like we talked to her and she would decide to match with somebody else.
I was like, there's more girls that has denied you, but okay.
No, one girl like decided to match with another family, but that's okay. I was not leaning towards her anyways, so it worked out.
Yeah. I think this process is fun. It's fun for me as
well.
well.
It's not fun for me at all. Are you kidding me?
I think it's a little fun.
It's the worst. It's like dating. Yeah. But like you have no control over it. To be fair, you don't have control over dating either.
But I mean, this is like you swiping on my Tinder. I'm like trying to look at people's profile for you.
Yeah.
So it's not really for me. That's why I find it more funny, I think.
No, I've had Natta involved in it because I trust her judgment. And if she gets along with whoever it is we pick, I can automatically know that it's going to be a good fit.
Yeah. And most of the time you look at them first. Like you're the one checking
I'm the one
page.
Picking first, pretty much. Sometimes we do it together.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I found this. What do you think about that? I like her. Or like, yeah. So
most of the time you agree with me. Like if I decide not to send out a request, you're like, no, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Like my biggest things that I look at, which it sounds kind of crazy, but on both sites, they give you like personality assessment. And I go to that first. Yeah. Because I just want a carbon copy of Natta. No, I'm kidding. A little bit, but like I know the things that are important to me. Like I need someone extroverted. I need someone who has low anxiety.
I can't say I have that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, well, overall, but I have like, I think people's gonna break in our house and things like that.
But that's different.
And like I checked
like
that Logan doesn't have food, so he doesn't choke. And like,
okay, so after the conversation we had yesterday about how we probably need to lock our doors, which I think I've already told everybody on the podcast, we don't lock our doors. Yeah. But anyways, I think we're gonna start now because this girl that I follow, who's an influencer, they were at home. It was 6:30 in the evening. It was still light outside, and they hear the garage door open, close, and a car speed off. And they're like, what the heck? So they check their cameras. They have cameras in their garage. I don't know who has cameras in their garage, but they do.
Yeah.
And there are 3 guys with like ski masks on in their garage, and they're home with their kids alone.
Oh no.
Thankfully, the door to their house was locked from the garage inside. I'm like, and she said in there, she was like, we never locked that door. She was like, I don't know why it was locked.
It was just a coincidence.
Yeah. And so she was like telling everybody how they got into the garage was they opened a car door and they opened the garage door opener in there. So that they were like, she was like, never keep your garage door opener in your car in the driveway. So I was like, okay, we're getting a new garage door system anyway. So we're just going to use our phones for it.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
But isn't that terrifying? I was like, okay, I'm going to lock the doors.
But that's what I'm saying. Those kind of things I'm excited about. Yeah. Like the things that could happen sometimes. But overall, not too much.
No, you don't have like anxiety about like every little thing in life.
No, I don't.
So that's important to me. Okay, on to our next little fun thing that happened in the last week.
Yeah, so I was in Orlando visiting my sister because she was here for a work conference. This is not funny in the moment.
It's not funny in the moment for her at all, but it was very funny the next day.
Okay, so I parked the car at Atlanta airport.
In like the parking at the airport, not like a secondary lot, like at the airport.
I made sure I was at the airport because I knew I was going to land late.
Really late, yeah.
Like probably 1:30 or even later, something like that.
It was like 1:30.
Oh, yeah,
we were supposed to.
Yeah, so I was already a little scared that I was going to take myself from the airport to the car, even though it's close. But still, it's dark and I'm scared of the dark.
Yeah.
So I walked out there after like a terrible flight because it's like thunderstorm.
Yeah, it was storming pretty bad. I had like texted you about it. I was like, I'd be surprised if your flight goes, and it still went.
It did, and it was very turbulent. Like we flew up, like the belt caught us, and me and the girl on the side, we never talked the whole flight, but we were just looking at each other like, what is going on
today?
Yeah, and well, whatever. We go forward. I call my mom and dad because they were up. It was like 7 a.m. in Sweden, so I had them on the phone while I was finding my way to the car. And it's at this point thundering and raining a lot.
And lightning.
Yeah. And this is on the roof parking.
Yeah, she was on the top level, so she was outside.
So I started running because it was raining so much, and the lightning, I'm scared of that. Like I was scared of being hit because I was the only one on the whole parking lot, I think. So I had my mom and dad on the phone. I ran there. First I was struggling because there's like this thing in the middle of the roof where the cars drive down. Yeah. So it's like blocked off. You need to go around it. Yeah. And I went straight into it. So I had to go around one way or another. Go there, and I have in my mind where the car is. Moving on, I can't find the car. Like I have in my mind, this is where the car is. I go there. It's not there. Yeah. Starting to panicking a little, just overall, everything together.
And to be fair, it's like 1:30 in the morning. So you're tired because you hardly slept the whole weekend.
Yeah. So I was like, you start panicking a little more because of the weather, the situation. I'm alone. It's dark. Like all those things. Walking, take my phone up because I had a picture of that it was like.
Where you parked, yeah.
And I'm like, this is where it's supposed to be. Like, I'm at the right place, I think. Walking up and down, mom's like, don't panic. And they're like, it's okay. The car is there. I was like, it's not there, but okay, I'm going to keep walking.
And it's just raining this whole time.
It's raining. Like, at this point, I was wet all from my knees down. Yeah. I had like...
Did you have a hood?
I had a hoodie and some beige pants.
Yeah.
So they were all wet and my shoes were soaking. And I had this bag I was carrying that was heavy, but whatever. I walking there trying to find the car, figuring out that I can on the like key put the trying to unlock it and not lock it and things, so I can make a sound from it and I could hear it and see it. Doesn't work, and then I start figuring out more. I'm trying to put the alarm off on the car key, and when that doesn't go off, that's where I'm like,
you lose it.
Yeah, I'm like, the car is stolen. The car is not here. It would have gone off. The alarm would have gone off if there was a car here, but there's not a car here. So I started bawling my eyes out. I was crying so much, like crying hysterically. I was like, I'm gonna have to pay a new car. I was like, they're gonna rematch with me.
Oh my God.
I was like, they're gonna rematch. I need to go back to Sweden.
Oh my God.
My mom was like, well, I'm pretty sure they have insurance. And I was like, I don't know. Freaking out. And I'm like, you texted me before when I landed if like the flight was okay.
Yeah.
So I knew that you'd been awake like 30 minutes before. So I texted you. I was like, hey, are you awake still?
And so
you called me.
Did I call you?
Yeah, you called me.
Oh, I called you.
Yeah.
Okay. So on our side of things, that was the night that we renovated Natta's room. So that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But if you go to our TikTok, it's on there. Au pair host mom. I think is our TikTok. Anyways, you can see that what we did. But we renovated her room and we finished, because the Super Bowl was that night. We finished at like, honestly, it was like 1 o'clock when we finished that. And then I realized I needed to post the podcast because it was being like released that morning. So I had to edit it and post it. So it was like 1, 2 in the morning. I'm still awake. I'm like wide awake. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, what's up? So she calls and Johnny had just gone to bed, like maybe 15 minutes before, which doesn't matter. And so she calls and all I hear is just sobbing.
I was crying so much.
You guys, talk about the panic that just filled my body. Like I'm even getting warm thinking about it because it like, you're going to cry, aren't you?
Yeah, a little. But I don't think people understand how much I cried. Like,
no, seriously. She's just
bawling.
hysterically crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? She's like, I can't find the car. I think I lost the car. I think it's stolen. I'm like, okay, we can figure this out. Like, calm down. It's okay.
But the funny thing is, I made a call like this before to my mom when my phone got stolen in Magaluf.
Oh.
That was like the same thing, 3 in the night, like, can't find it, and it was stolen that time.
Yeah.
So
it was probably like a little bit of PTSD from that, maybe.
Yeah.
So she's just like, and I'm like, okay, well, did you actually park it somewhere that was like 24, like you could park 24 hours or just like short term? She was like, no, I asked them. It was not the short term. I asked them. I'm like, okay, check that off the list. I'm like, okay. Well, the car could be stolen.
I was like,
but it's okay. Like we have insurance. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, we just need to get you home. Like, that was my priority. It's like, she needs to just get home right now. This is not okay.
I locked the car. Like,
so I'm like,
yeah.
And I was like, I know the car is locked because it doesn't matter even if you locked it. When you walk away from the car, it locks itself.
Yeah.
So I was like, that doesn't even, if someone stole the car, they would have broken the window to get in. Like, that doesn't, I was like, it's not your fault. Whatever would have happened. And then I was like, okay, we got to figure out how to set the alarm off on the key fob. Like, let me Google this. I'm like sitting there Googling YouTube, like looking for YouTube videos, like how to set the alarm off. And she's like sitting there and all of a sudden I hear the car alarm go off. You're like, I found it.
Yeah, I walked back. I was on my way into the airport again. And you're like, are you still there? And I turned around a little. I was like, yeah. I was like, maybe I should just go back. But like, I was scared of lightning as well because it was like the whole sky lit up like every minute probably.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I might as well try it one more time. And I was further away this time. So I don't know why it didn't work the first couple times I tried. But it worked.
Maybe it was just that time how you hit it. Yeah. Did you hold it for longer maybe? Or
I don't know.
Yeah, but it worked. And so, but at that point I was like, okay, good. You're in the car. Okay, you're in the car. And then I hang up with her and like 2 minutes go by and I call her back. I'm like, do you want us to just get you a hotel? I told you just sit in the car and calm down for a few minutes. Like, don't just start driving. And you were like still sitting there when I called back. And I was like, do you want us to just get you a hotel? Because I don't know if you should be driving. It's very, very late and you're very like unstable right now.
I was. There's a video of this.
Yeah, there's a very good video. Maybe we'll post it for the world to see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt so bad. I woke up Johnny because at that point, I mean, this was probably 10 minutes. So we didn't know where the car was when you were talking to us. And so I woke him up and I was like, babe, what do we do? Like I muted you. I'm like, what do I do to help her? And he's like, okay, we need to just get her an Uber. She just needs to get home. Like that's what both of us were just worried about, getting you home. We were like, you don't need to worry about the car right now. We can figure that out later. We were just like so worried about you. And so he literally like had got on clothes. He was going to go pick you up.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't want her in an Uber in the middle of the night with some random person. That was like our next thought is like, no, wait, an Uber in the middle of the night's not a good idea.
No.
So then Johnny was like, I'm going to go get her. And then as he's walking out with his clothes on, I'm like, she got it. Like right then.
I'm going back to bed.
He would have come and got you, no problem. But we felt so bad for you.
Well,
but good news, the car wasn't stolen. So
it was great. It was a little like pathetic because I was like, oh my God,
it wasn't pathetic.
I've just been blind. Like,
but it's just hilarious that like,
oh no,
I have never stayed up that late in the whole time you've lived with us.
No, I don't think so.
Never. So it just was like how it aligned was like, okay, it worked out.
You were already awake.
Yeah.
So that's good. Otherwise, I was like, I need to call her because like I can't find it. Like I'm probably walking around for 25 minutes at this point before. And I was like, I cannot find it. So I need to do something. Like
it's kind of a car that blends in though.
A little. Yeah. It's like gray.
It's just like gray basic car. So
yeah. But we worked out. It was good. The drive home was terrible because it was
so late.
So much water.
And there was so much water on the roads.
So much water. But
in hindsight, I wish you would have gotten a hotel. I should have just made you get one, but you were safe.
Fine. Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, so should we talk about what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah.
We'll see how far we get in this episode now that we had fun telling our stories of the week. Adjusting to a new life is kind of what we want to talk about, is like some of the things that you had to kind of adjust to when you got to our house. And like some au pairs might also have to figure these things out. So the first one, a lot of these you came up with because obviously it's not things that I had to adjust to. But
no.
First one was feeling comfortable just taking food whenever.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I mean, it is a little weird situation. Like even though we had a good relationship to begin with and like from the start, it's still a little like with leftovers, like should I take them or is somebody else planning on eating them? Now I'm like, after like now I'm like, well, too
You're
bad.
Like, if I don't eat them, they're not going to get eaten.
That is probably true. And also like,
it's first come, first serve. Yeah.
Otherwise, like maybe you could have told like I'm planning on taking that.
Exactly.
Like if you really wanted it.
No. And it's weird because, and I get it because like, it doesn't matter if you go stay with family and they're like, help yourself to the fridge, eat whatever you want. You're still like, I'm not going to just go open up something, it feels weird at first.
Oh yeah.
But once you get comfortable, I don't think.
No, it goes pretty fast. Like probably maybe like 2 weeks until you're like fully.
Like you can kind of figure it out and make sure that like what we're saying really we mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it is a little hard in beginning. But it's more like it just feels weird because it still feels like you're in someone else's home.
Yeah.
Just taking
it's not your home
things.
Yet. Yeah.
But you just have to do it. Like you just have to get over it.
Yeah.
A little.
And I think just communicate with your host parents. Like if there is something that they say is off limits or like, don't eat this, then respect it. But we've never had that.
But also like if I know that sometimes I know that you're going to use that thing for dinner, like in the week, like then.
And that's always been my thing is like, eat whatever you want. Just tell me if we're running out and I'll get more of it. So that if I am planning on like making it with a meal, like if anytime we run out of something, you text me or tell me, like if it's something you think we might need. And if I do, which is, I don't think that's ever really happened.
No.
Where I've like needed to go buy what you used up. Like you're very mindful of like the meals we're going to be having that week and stuff.
I'm usually trying to like, next time you're like, oh, I'm going to the store. Like, yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
No, you've been really good. I've never gone in and been like, geez, Natta finished this and didn't tell me. I've done that for Johnny.
Yeah.
That happens all the freaking time.
Well, so that's good. But you just have to do it. Like, I don't think there's any other way to do it.
So then the next thing is like differences in types of foods.
Well,
What are some, I know a few of the things that like you don't typically eat. Well, most of the meals I make, you probably wouldn't typically eat in Sweden, but what were some of the foods that was like, this was interesting to get used to? You told me something the other day.
Beans.
She's
Yeah.
like, I don't really eat beans in Sweden. I'm like, well,
no,
you eat beans with us.
I do, but I kind of like them. But I've never, in Sweden, I've been like, oh no, don't think this is for me. And it's also, I think we don't have it like as much as you do here. Like you have it at restaurants.
Beans?
Yeah, like black beans in Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, black beans and like refried beans.
I think that's a little weird still.
Huh. Yeah. But I only cook with like chili for beans and then I do like...
And those taste good.
I made the chicken enchilada with beans, which is good.
Yeah, I think it's good. But like, it's still a little weird on Mexican restaurant when you get like beans in a sauce.
Oh,
like, how am I supposed to eat that?
The guacamole we got from Aldi was so good though with the black beans in it.
I was really
so
good.
surprised. That was like my favorite guac I've had from a like
That's
pre-made.
a tip to everyone. It was so good.
Yeah, it was
very good.
Aldi, man, coming in clutch.
Yeah. Moving on.
And then tofu. I keep forcing everyone to try to eat tofu.
That is also something I probably wouldn't have eaten at home.
You probably won't continue to when you go.
Probably not, but I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
You're starting to get the hang
I'm
of it.
I'm just forcing them. Liam, like literally last time I made it, both Liam and Logan were like,
they refused.
What the hell is this?
They're like, not tofu
Yeah,
again.
Liam was just like, and then what was it last night? He was cracking us up at dinner. He was like, something about like going out on a date night and then making and then eting tofu or something. Like I think he thinks tofu is my favorite food.
Well, I kind of think so too.
Yeah, it was really funny. He was in like an attitude last night.
Well, he's sick.
Yeah.
He has double-sided ear infection.
Yeah, double ear and double pink eye. Poor kid. He just looks real good.
He does. But, okay, so if you don't like the food, what would you, as a host mom, think is the best response to it? Or the most?
I think that this is something you need to handle during your matching process. That was one of the questions I asked someone recently is like, okay, tell me about like what foods you like, what foods you don't like.
Yeah.
Because that could, I cook a lot of variety. And if it was like, I don't eat any vegetables or like, I don't eat any meat, that could probably be a deal breaker for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't make extra meals for my kids. Like what's dinner is dinner. And so I'm like, I'm not going to make an extra meal for our au pair.
No.
And I also don't want you to have to make an extra meal. Like if I don't want to cook it, like I don't want you to have to constantly be making your own food. So for me, it just makes the most sense that like our au pair would be flexible with eating.
And I think also after you've had me, that I've been eating
She eats
all the
anything.
food.
Literally anything.
Except for seafood.
And mushrooms. But you would even eat mushrooms. I think I've put them in something and you didn't care.
We have it in the stir thing.
Oh, stir fry, yeah. But I don't care if someone picks things out of my food. Like my kids tell me my food's disgusting all the time. So like, I don't care.
Well, but what if you miss this in the process? Like something I missed. So I'm here. I don't like something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think I would just try and be as accommodating as possible with the meals I make. I mean, like, again, I'm cooking for a 4-year-old, 3-year-old.
But like, if we think about, like, how would you be least offended?
Okay.
If I saw it. Do you understand what I mean?
I don't get offended, though. Like, okay. Like, I don't think it would offend me.
So if I was like, I really don't like this food.
If there was something you didn't like, you better... Almost cussed. You better tell me. Because
I'm good.
I don't want to, I can also be flexible with what I make. Like if I find out that you're really just not enjoying a certain meal, like I'll take it out of the rotation. Like I told Natta, I'm taking tofu off the rotation for a while because the kids are clearly not eating it. And so that's kind of what you do when you want a kid to like it is you just completely remove it for a while and then you bring it back and try it again. So. Yeah.
Okay. So just tell.
Yeah. I think it's just communication. Like, hey.
And also I think have in mind for everyone that is, okay, if you think for someone that is offended easily, just probably think that it's not you. Like, it's not you that's the problem.
It's the person's.
Yeah. It's just something they don't like.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's bad food. For someone who would like mushrooms or like seafood, it would probably be great.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like it either way because I don't like seafood.
Yeah. And it works out because I don't cook seafood. Yeah. Like if we ever have seafood, it's out. on like at the beach or something. So I don't cook seafood at home.
No. So your best thing is to just tell.
Yeah, I think it's just to be honest and be like, hey, I'm not a big fan of eating this. Could we try some meals? Or like if you're the au pair and you're really having a hard time with the food, offer to cook if you like to cook.
Yeah.
If you want to share some of your culture too.
Can we talk about that? There was a girl.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Please.
Okay, so there was a girl that came up as a potential candidate. Mm-hmm. And her profile, it was like, I don't even remember how it was worded, but it was basically like, I don't like anything.
I don't like any food at all.
I don't like any food at all.
Super picky. It's been a problem my whole life.
Yeah. And I was like, that's just not going to work for me. I'm glad that person said that up front, because maybe there's a family out there that's super picky too. And they understand it and they accommodate their family, and that would be great for them.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just not going to fit our life.
No.
So it's fine.
That's true. But it's just, that's also like the importance of telling beforehand.
Yes, just being upfront.
If you're really picky, you should definitely say that before. And
not just even like, if you don't think you're picky and you're probably not picky, like I still want to know the foods you will not eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would still want to know, like, because I don't buy mushrooms for any of the meal that I make with us.
Yeah.
Like I eat them personally for breakfast and stuff, but I'm not going to force you to eat them.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Moving on to other things that can be like challenging.
Yeah. So then another thing is like figuring out how the parents handle the kids and want you to handle the kids, and kind of that dynamic.
Okay, yeah. So this is also obviously something in the beginning when you come there. Mm-hmm. You just have to, I think, like observe a lot. Like in the beginning, I didn't tell Liam yes to anything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't tell him yes to candy. I didn't tell him yes to ice cream. I didn't tell him yes to iPad. Like nothing. I just said no.
Yeah.
Which maybe not is the best thing ever.
Yeah, but I think it's better. It's better to err on the side of no than letting the kids do things and then the parents being mad. Like they're not allowed to do that. You know, well, you didn't tell me.
I was more like feeling a little like, what were you saying yes to and when, in which situations?
Yeah.
Because sometimes like, I know now that Liam can watch iPad sometimes if he earns it. Or if it's sick.
Or if he's sick, yeah.
I know that he could have candy sometimes. Mm-hmm. But in a like certain amount.
Yeah.
Like I know that now, and I know when to tell him yes and I know when to tell him no without it being like super much of a problem. Like,
yeah.
And sometimes maybe I say yes to candy when you would be like, oh, maybe he shouldn't have it, but I can still stand for it. Like
exactly. And it doesn't bother me at all. Like
most of the time, if I would give him something, if he gets crazy from it, he's gonna be crazy to me.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's gonna be. You're gonna deal with it.
Yeah. So then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think you just have to be very observant and see like how do you handle things. How like when he would pitch a fight, how would you handle it? When he wants to do something, you have to say no. Like just how you handle everything. Yeah. Just take a step back and just watch.
Yeah. I think it's, exactly. I think it's just super important to observe like what the parents do, how, like, because we didn't really instruct you how to deal with our kids. You just kind of picked up on a lot of it. I mean, we told you like, this is kind of how we handle him when he's having an outburst, or like, this is what we do and don't let him do. We've kind of laxed up on some things just because like when you moved here, we had no TV allowed because he was just being so bad with it. So we've kind of gotten a little lax because he's just been sick so much. And so he just watches iPad all day.
And it's been winter and we can't really be out because it's cold.
Yeah. I think we're going to go back off of like, I think what we just need to do is like bring the iPad here to the office. Like he literally can't watch it.
Yeah. That's good.
So
or hide it somewhere and be like, we don't have it.
Yeah, it's gone. Sorry. But no, it's hard. Wintertime's so hard.
Yeah. Well, hopefully soon we will be able to be outside again.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do things outside with the kids.
I know. It's going to be so nice.
Liam's like, one time when he was off from school, I was like, what do you want to do tomorrow? You're off. He's like, I just want to rest at home.
Natta's like, come on.
I was like, please, I want to get out of the house. Yeah. I want to do something. He's like, no.
I think you finally convinced him to do something. I forget what it was.
I think maybe we went to the park or something. I just wanted some fresh air and like some sun.
Yeah. He's kind of like me though. Like I'm like, I could just stay at home forever. You're like, Johnny, you guys have to leave the house.
But like at some point, yeah.
I could stay at home forever.
Yeah, no.
And I'm even pretty extroverted, but I just love being at home.
I love being at home as well, but I need to go out at some point. Okay.
So you kind of are observing the parents.
Yeah.
But then like, what if you do have a very big difference in parenting styles?
Okay, first of all, I think a little, this is also something you have to talk before. Mm-hmm. A little like, what kind of,
like, are you beating the crap out of your kids?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. You need to kind of know how are they.
Because like that would be a deal breaker for me, obviously.
Yeah.
Like
Johnny threatens to spank Liam all the time. We never do it.
No. And like, that would be a deal breaker. Like if it was something like that. But otherwise, like I told you, like there's things, I don't think there will be, you can find one family that you have everything
agreed with.
Or like I would have done exactly the same on everything.
Yeah.
I don't think there is that.
No.
Like, so there's some things like we let Logan scream here.
Yeah,
like we put him
cries,
down and then he cries. That's not something I'm used to.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because it's like, it's for the au pairs, it's easier. I can just put him down and then be like, bye.
Yeah.
Have a good night's sleep.
Yeah. It's hard. Like this is hard for me as a mom too, but I know that he needs to learn to sleep and it just takes a long time for them to learn, but it's hard.
Yeah. But like, so that's one thing, but also I think you need to probably like see what things you could have an opinion about and what things you could not have an opinion about. Like what you have a right to. Because I mean, let's say I didn't want Liam to have candy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I have him, I could just say no to candy.
Exactly.
All the time. Like that's one thing.
That's
like,
your choice.
I could say no and you wouldn't be like, Natta, you don't let him have candy.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't have said
you
that.
You need to give him candy.
Yeah, like so if I don't want to give him candy or I don't want to give him an iPad, I could make that choice. Yeah. If I wanted to, if I disagreed with it.
Yeah.
But like other things is maybe like not real my thing.
Yeah. That's not how I would do it, but that's like everyone wants to do it differently.
And then some people, like if it was bigger things, it could be a total deal breaker. And then I think you should I think people should rematch if it's like such a deal breaker. Yeah. Then like you cannot do it. Yeah. If you can't, you can't. Yeah. But also consider like you're not going to find a family that you agree on everything.
And like I think I said that I used to be a nanny and like now I'm on the other side of it. And it's so interesting. Like the family that I nannied for, I agreed with most everything they did. They were amazing. Yeah. But it's so interesting now being a parent. And back then I was like, I would never do this or I would never do that. And now I'm like doing all the things I said I would never and I would always do, you know? Yeah. So it's just also keep in mind that like maybe the parents are just figuring it out and don't know how to do it the best. You know what I mean?
I think that's with everything. And I don't think like I even know what I would do if I had the chance to do everything my way.
Yeah.
Like,
right?
Like
agreed.
I don't think I would know what to do either way.
I don't know what I'm doing really. So. But no, I think